Hi, this is Bruce Whipple, and welcome to the Business Acquisition Podcast. This is where we talk about how to acquire an already profitable business rather than build one from scratch. In the past 25 years, I've acquired several businesses, and I've also built several businesses from scratch. And I can tell you that it's a lot easier to do the former rather than the latter. You may know me from my association with Dan Peña, who I've worked with and been partners with for more than 25 years. Dan is gracious enough to mention me quite often in his videos, and it's been a real pleasure working with Dan, and one of the few people that I call a true friend. And actually, we've worked on many acquisitions together as well. And even though I said it was easier to acquire a business rather than build one from scratch, that doesn't necessarily mean it's easy. I often say that QLA is simple, but please don't make the mistake of thinking that simple is the same thing as easy. It still requires hard work. I wanted to talk to you about one of the most critical traits of successful people, and that's their communications. Their communications are usually crisp, and an often lost fact is they follow up. They're maniacs about following up. So let's talk about that this time. On communications, one of the things I've learned and used a lot is what's called a sundown rule. And if you go back and study a lot of the most successful people, they have used this pretty consistently. And that is that before you turn in for the night, you go back and you respond to every email or correspondence that you get. That doesn't mean you have to do it. That just means that you acknowledge receipt of it and you give some time frame for when you're going to do it. It wouldn't be uncommon to get a large task and just let the person know, saw your email, want to take some time to review it and go through and give you a proper answer, and that's going to take me until tomorrow, next week, whatever the time frame is there. Or just a simple, saw your email, we'll get back to you tomorrow, thanks, something like that. You know, the other thing that people miss an awful lot is just following up. There was some really interesting research, and I want to tell you what the results were and then tell you why I've found it to be so important. Robert Clay of Marketing Wisdom quoted research that showed 80% of sales occur only after at least 5 follow-ups. 5. Think about it. It takes at least 5 continuous follow-ups after the initial sales contract before a customer says yes. 5. And then Robert showed some fascinating statistics on this. 44% of people give up after 1 no, 22% give up after 2 no's, 14% give up after 3 no's, and 12% give up after 4 no's. So that tells you that 92% of salespeople give up after 4 no's, and only 8% of salespeople ask for the order a 5th time, which is where 80% of the sales occur. I actually think that's wrong, because where he says that 44% of salespeople give up after 1 no, basically that's saying that they at least, I think, follow up once. Most people don't even follow up once. So they just make the initial pitch, they hear a no, and that's it. So let me tell you about following up in a personal story for me. This goes back a long time ago, but like most entrepreneurs, in the beginning, it was a tremendous financial struggle, and I was basically out of cash. Didn't have any more credit left. Well, when I say out of cash, that's not quite true. I had $40 left in my pocket. And I remember talking to Dan Peña, who has been my mentor and partner since the early 90s. And I had contacted friends, family, fools, anyone I think I could raise money from. And most of those answers were, no, we're rooting for you, but there's nothing we can do. And I contacted a pretty wealthy individual. I had asked about getting a loan from him. I had been told, I think, 5 or 6 times, no. I'm in your corner. I'd love to see you succeed. Not in a position to help right now. That's not an unusual response. So I remember talking to Dan, and I said, I'm going to give it one more try, Dan. And Dan said, and he is. He said, I'm an optimistic guy, but Bruce, you've asked him 5 or 6 times, whatever it was. And I don't know. I don't think I'd ask him again. And I said, well, I'm going to ask him. So I asked him at this point, the big home that we were in, I had put on the market. I explained to him that I had the home on the market. There was no guarantee that it was going to sell, but that I had equity in the home, and that if it sold, I would be in a position to return his capital with interest. And so I sent that off. I think if I remember right, I sent it in a handwritten Federal Express envelope. So it got there overnight. And about 3 days later, never got a phone call, never got an email, never got a letter, just got a overnight with a check for $25,000, which in those days was lifeblood and continued to let me fight. But I think the important lesson, and it bears out what I said in those statistics, is had I not followed up, the answer would have been no. And sometimes you just never know if the right message hits at the right time. And certainly that's the case. So why is following up so important? Well, you're going to follow up on everything you do. You're going to follow up on building your dream team around you. You're going to follow up on securing accounting and law firms to represent you. And an awful lot of what you're going to be doing is following up on acquisition targets. And those are businesses, as we talked about, that aren't for sale. So how do you follow up? Well, I think one of the big tricks in following up is to follow up without being obnoxious or a pain that somebody is tired of hearing from. Sometimes that requires a little bit of humor. Sometimes it just requires doing it in the right way. And one of the techniques that I've used an awful lot is to say to somebody after I've sent either an inquiry or sent a proposal or sent an offer to purchase, I send an email that's something along these lines. More than once, I've had an email lost in cyberspace, and I just wanted to be sure that my email was received by you. Most of the time, what I'll do is I'll forward the previous email with that kind of a note. And I can't tell you the number of times that that's actually been true, that someone comes back and said, never got it. Maybe it went in their spam filter. Maybe it went in their junk folder. Or maybe they started to read it, got a phone call, and that email dropped from read to unread, and then they never got back to seeing it again. So to me, most of the time, I get an answer like, yep, saw it, forgot to respond, or no, didn't see it, and then we engage again. And let me tell you another example of just the importance of following up. In the one of the beginning of my entrepreneurial careers, when we had a property tax business, we would contact prospects and suggest to them that we had a way to reduce their school and property taxes on a contingency basis, which meant we only got paid if we did something for them, and that we gave them some feel for what we thought the savings were going to be for them based on the public information that was out there. So we sent a pretty detailed letter. If you've never read it, I'd suggest you read a book called Selling to Vito, V-I-T-O, which is very important, Top Officer, which goes through the techniques of how to do this well. And the real critical part of those letters was following up with a phone call within 24 to 48 hours of them landing at the prospect's doorstep. Typically with direct mail, you're going to get 2 and 3% response rate if you're lucky. With those, we ended up with 25%. And the reason for that was absolutely the following up and the way we did that. So I can't stress enough how important following up is. The vast majority of sales that I've made or connections that I've made have come after multiple follow-ups. You know, one of the ways that I always get a kick out of looking at this is a lot of us have meetings, and in those meetings, we have meeting follow-ups. And if you're going to take care and track meeting follow-ups, they ought to have a few things in common. They ought to have a task, obviously, one responsible person so that each person doesn't point at the other person, and then a date when that task is going to be completed. So you've got a task, a responsible person, and a completion date. And if you circulate those action items after the meeting, they act as, hopefully, things that will get done. But it's interesting, if you don't follow up on that action list, and maybe a couple days or a week, whatever the time frame is before your next meeting, you don't go back and you say, can you provide me an update or status of the action items for which you were responsible? People learn, and people learn that, okay, we have a meeting, we write down a bunch of action items, but you know what? Nobody ever follows up on those action items. So, are they important? Apparently not, because nobody ever asks about them once we write them down. So again, follow-up is the key to that. So once you make a habit of following up and you do it in a fashion which doesn't get the other person upset, but they view it as, oh, okay, he's following up, I think you're going to be very, very pleased with the results you get. Okay. So if you have any questions or comments or ideas for future episodes, please email bruce@brucewhipple.com. And if you're not already on our mailing list, head over to brucewhipple.com and sign up and grab any of the free reports. That'll put you on the mailing list. There is a lot of free information you can use to acquire already profitable businesses. This is Bruce Whipple. Thanks for listening to the Business Acquisition Podcast. And remember, you miss 100% of the opportunities you fail to take. And procrastination truly is the thief of time. So do something today, please. Your future self will be proud of.